Hello, my friends. Welcome back to the mat. Before we jump into today's practice, I have a really exciting announcement to make. You can now support Roaming Yogi's offerings on Patreon. If you're unfamiliar with Patreon, it is a membership platform that allows beautiful people like you to support creators like me. If you enjoy these classes that I provide for free here on a weekly basis, I encourage you to check out the platform and become a member at the tier of your choice. A lot goes into making these videos, from the equipment to the time, the energy. There's a lot that goes into them, and your support will help me to continue providing the best quality yoga and meditation content that I can. All of the information is linked down below, the Patreon page, the different membership tiers that you can join. You'll also have the opportunity to deepen or advance your practice with me through the various membership tiers. So the different tiers will give you different things. So depending on what you're looking for and where you're trying to take your practice, you can choose a membership tier that works for you. Please check out that information. It's in the description down below. It would mean the world to me to have you join us as a Roaming Yogi member on Patreon. Now for today's practice, we're continuing our down dog days of summer. So we're going to keep it chill. We're going to keep it mellow. We're going to get into the hips today. You may want 1 or 2 blocks handy for this practice. If you've got them, go grab them. Other than that, just your yoga mat. So go ahead, grab your props, unroll your mat, and I'm going to meet you in a Baddha Konasana. All right, my friends, go ahead and come into a seat with the soles of the feet touching, coming into your Baddha Konasana, like butterfly legs. And you can take hold of the ankles, of the shins, maybe the knees, wherever feels most comfortable for you to place the hands. Allow them to rest there. Do focus on finding a long spine. So root down through the sitting bones. Feel the crown of the head extending skyward. And you can sort of start to lift and lower the knees here, coming into your butterfly, and notice what you notice in the hips. So any sensations that are present, notice if the hips feel particularly stiff or particularly open today. There's no right or wrong. Just take a moment to take inventory and notice what you're working with. You can close down the eyes, beginning to bring awareness to the breath as well. And notice what you're working with there. So is it a shallow breath? Is it a deeper breath? Where are you feeling it most prominently in the body? And then you can go ahead and bring the legs to stillness. And from here, begin to squeeze the calves and the thighs in towards each other. So find that squeeze. And as you squeeze, also press through the outsides of the thighs to press the knees down towards the earth. So using the muscles to find a bit more opening. And then release. And then once again, squeeze calves to thighs and then outer thighs towards the earth. And release. And one more time, squeeze the calves to thighs, outer thighs towards the earth. Long spine. And release. Now from here, begin to lean the torso long over the feet, as though you're reaching the heart towards the space just in front of the feet. So finding a long spine, bringing the spine down over the feet as much as feels comfortable. Again, hands can be at the ankles, the shins, maybe holding on to the feet. Feel yourself lengthen through the spine with each inhale. And maybe the torso comes closer to the feet on the exhale. And then gently lift the torso. Bring hands to the fronts of the shins or maybe onto the knees. And as you inhale, arch the back, puff of the chest, lifting the heart up towards the sky, lifting the gaze. And as you exhale, round the spine, tucking the tailbone and bringing the chin in towards the chest. And again, inhale to arch, opening the heart. And exhale as you round, bring the gaze in towards the navel. Inhale to arch. And exhale to round. Let's take 2 more like this. Inhale. And exhale. 1 more. Inhale, open the heart. And exhale, round the spine. Beautiful. Come up into a seat. Bringing the left hand down next to the left hip, the right arm up by the right ear. As you inhale, lengthen. And as you exhale, lean over towards the left, walking the left fingertips out. Really root down through the right sitting bone as you reach through the right fingertips. Feel for opening along the right side of the body. Imagine sending the breath into all the little spaces between the ribs, finding a bit more space in between each one. Take 1 more breath here. Inhale deep. And exhale long. And as you inhale, come back up to center, lowering the right arm down next to the right hip, left arm lifts. Inhale to lengthen, and exhale, walk it over towards the other side. And again, rooting down through the left sitting bone, reaching through the left fingertips. Feel the opening along the left side of the body. Maybe noticing how the 2 sides of the body might feel a little different. And 1 more breath here. And then inhaling to lift. Go ahead and lift both arms up by the ears. Take another inhale here to lengthen. And as you exhale, twist to the right from the belly, the ribs, the shoulders. Left hand will come down onto the right knee or the right leg as the right arm comes behind you and you gaze over the right shoulder. On an inhale, turn the head, shoulders, ribs, belly to center, lifting the arms. Take another inhale here. And exhale, twist to the left, belly, ribs, shoulders. Left hand behind you, right hand to the left knee, and gaze comes over the left shoulder. And on an inhale, the head, shoulders, ribs, and belly come back to center. And then go ahead and lower the arms and make your way into tabletop position, hands and knees. Stacking these shoulders over wrists, hips over knees. As you inhale, drop the belly, open the heart forward. And as you exhale, round the spine, chin towards the chest. And just 2 more of these, inhaling to open the heart. And exhaling to round. 1 more inhale. And exhale. Go ahead and come to a neutral spine. And then pop the hips out towards the right. And then bring them back towards your seat and over to the left. And then forward, making circles with the hips. And you can choose how big or small you'd like to make these. Go ahead and take 2 more in this direction. And then we'll switch the direction. Take your circles to the other side. Two more here. And then from here, tuck the toes under, lift the knees and hips, downward facing dog. Feel free to find any movement that speaks to you here, checking in with the backs of the legs. Notice what it feels like to come into this shape. And then finding some stillness in your downward facing dog. And then slowly begin to walk the feet up to the hands, making it a nice slow walk up your mat. Bending the knees as much as you need. Coming to the top of the mat, bringing the feet to hip-width distance, keeping a nice bend in the knees and letting the torso and head hang heavy. You can shake out the head, yes, no. Coming into a ragdoll fold, maybe shifting the weight on the feet a little bit, forward, back, side to side. Maybe swaying the torso. And then from here, go ahead and inhale to lift halfway, reach the crown of the head forward, lengthen the spine. And as you exhale, fold over the legs. Inhale, lift halfway. Exhale, fold. Inhale, lift halfway. And as you exhale, bring hands onto hips, keep a flat back and come all the way up to stand. And go ahead and bring the big toes to touch. Finding your Tadasana mountain pose, root down through the feet, gently pulling the pubic bone up towards the navel, the shoulder blades gliding back and down. Nice long spine. As you inhale, lift the arms up towards the sky. And as you exhale, fold down over the legs. Inhale, lift halfway. And exhale, fold. As you inhale, rise to stand, flat back lifts you up, arms lift. And exhale, release the arms. Let's take 2 more sun stretches just like that. Inhale to lift the arms. And exhale to fold. Inhale, lift halfway. And exhale, fold. Inhale, rise to stand, arms lift. And exhale, release arms by the sides of the body. Go ahead and take 1 more just like that on your own breath, allowing your breath to lead you. Meeting in Tadasana mountain pose. From here, go ahead and step the left foot way back and bring the left heel onto the earth so the outside edge of the left foot is parallel to the back of your mat. So we're setting up warrior 2. Heel of the front foot is intersecting arch of the back foot. Bend into the right knee, sit down low into the legs, strong arms reaching in opposite directions. So you've got the hips, the chest all open towards the left side of your mat, and the gaze will be over the front middle finger. Check with the right knee, make sure it's not buckling towards the midline. Gently press out with the right thigh so that the right knee tracks right over the middle toes. Take 1 more breath here. Now from here, coming into goddess pose. So begin to straighten the right leg just a little bit. You might want to shorten your stance a little bit. So heel toe the left foot in slightly. And then you want to turn both heels in, toes facing out, and sit down into the legs. The hands can come to rest on top of the thighs. From here, go ahead and drop the right shoulder towards the center of the legs as you gaze over the left shoulder. On an inhale, come up to center, and then drop the left shoulder down as you look over the right shoulder. And then coming back to center, go ahead and straighten both legs, Turn the feet so they are parallel to each other, facing the left side of your mat. Bring hands onto hips. Inhale, lift the heart towards the sky. And as you exhale, hinge at the hips and fold down over the legs, wide-legged forward fold. Hands can come onto the earth, maybe in line with the feet. Maybe you bring a block underneath the hands if the earth feels a little far away. And find the variation that works for you. Go ahead and bring hands underneath the shoulders as you inhale, lengthen the spine. Now turn the right toes towards the front of your mat and begin to walk the hands over towards the inside edge of the right foot. You might want to heel toe the right foot all the way out towards the right side of your mat. Come onto the ball of the back foot, coming into your lizard pose, facing the front of your mat. Option to leave the left knee lifted if you'd like a more active lizard. If you'd like a more chilled out lizard, you can bring left knee onto the earth, untucking the back toes. We'll be here for a few breaths. You can stay exactly as you are in the hands. If you feel a bit more open in the hips, you can explore coming down onto forearms. And if you're somewhere in between, you can bring your blocks onto the earth and bring your forearms onto your blocks. So kind of finding an in-between space if the earth feels a little too far away for your forearms. And imagine sending the breath into the hips. Now from here, if you're on forearms, go ahead and lift onto hands. We're going to tuck the back toes under, lifting the back knee, and we're going to step the left foot up outside the left hand. So kind of matching the placement of the right foot outside the right hand, coming into Malasana squat. If the heels are really lifted here, feel free to bring a towel or a blanket underneath the heels so that you are supported. And if you feel like you need a bit more support in this pose, you can bring a block underneath your seat and have a seat. The palms will come to touch at heart center, pressing the elbows to the insides of the legs. Wherever you are, whether you're using a block or a blanket or a towel, make sure that you are reaching the tailbone towards the earth and at the same time the sternum up towards the sky. So finding a nice long line through the spine. From here, go ahead and bring the hands onto the earth. The left foot's going to stay where it is. Step the right foot way back. So now you've got the hands on the inside of the left foot, setting up lizard pose on the other side. So again, you can keep the right knee lifted if you'd like. Option to bring the right knee onto the earth. You can stay here on the hands. Be here for a few breaths so you can explore coming onto forearms. Maybe that's not working today. Maybe you come onto blocks with the forearms. Whatever feels best for this lizard for you today. Go ahead and, if you're on forearms, come up onto hands. Tuck the right toes under, lift the right knee, and begin to walk the hands over to the right side, coming to the other side of your mat. And then turn the feet so that they are parallel to each other. Go ahead and bring them into one line so that you're coming into your wide-legged forward fold. Take an inhale to lengthen the spine. And as you exhale, fold over the legs. You can bring hands onto the earth, maybe take hold of the ankles, maybe the big toes. If you're taking hold of ankles or big toes, maybe use the arms to pull yourself down just a little bit more. Notice if all of your weight is sitting back in the heels, and try to bring some of the weight towards the balls of the feet. Go ahead and bring hands underneath the shoulders. As you inhale, lengthen the spine. Go ahead and turn the heels in, toes are facing out. Sit down into the legs and lift the torso, bringing hands onto the thighs. And then again, go ahead and drop the right shoulder towards the center of the legs, gazing over the left shoulder, coming into the twist. Inhale through center and then drop the left shoulder towards the center, looking over the right shoulder. And then coming back to center, go ahead and straighten the legs and then turn the right heel so the outside edge of the right foot becomes parallel with the back of your mat, turning the left toes towards the front of your mat, heel to arch alignment for warrior 2. On the other side, strong arms reaching in opposite directions. Feel yourself root down through the feet. And see if you can find that external rotation of the leg. So this is a hip opening posture. Take one more inhale here. As you exhale, cartwheel hands onto the earth. Come onto the ball of the back foot and step the left foot back for downward facing dog. Go ahead and bring the knees onto the earth. Shift the hips over to one side and then bring the legs around in front of you. And we're going to come into a seated pigeon pose. So you'll bring the hands back behind you to support you. And then sole of the left foot will be flat on your mat. You'll cross the right ankle just above the left knee, creating a figure 4 in the legs. And then you can scooch the left foot in closer to the body, closer to your seat. And depending on how this feels, this might be enough for you and you can stay exactly as you are. But then you can also begin to lift the chest towards the leg with the hands. So wherever you are, see if you can find a nice long spine. So make sure you're not rounding into this. Really lengthen the spine towards the leg. And maybe you keep the left foot a little bit farther out, and that's totally okay. Whatever feels best on your hips, your knees. If there's any pain or discomfort in the knees, you can come on out of this. If you prefer to take this on your back, you can do that as well. Just come to lie down and you'll hug the left leg in towards the chest. Sending some love into that outer right hip. And maybe finding some gentle movement here. So I kind of like to move my left knee towards the right and left and see how that changes the sensations in the outer right hip. And so you can do the same if it speaks to you. And if it doesn't, you can stay with stillness. We tend to carry a lot in the hips, which makes sense. They are a very large joint, doing a lot for us. So physically, there's a lot going on in the hips, but emotionally, we tend to carry a lot of baggage there. So tune into what, if anything, comes up for you. And if nothing does, that's totally okay. All right, from here, gently extend the left foot forward so you can release the right leg. And we'll come into the other side. So bending at the right knee, bring sole of the right foot flat on the earth. Bring the weight onto the hands as you lift the left foot, crossing left ankle above the right knee. And then lifting the chest towards the leg. And maybe bringing the right leg in, finding your sweet spot. So where you're feeling some sensation, but it's not too much. You can explore maybe some movement on this side as well. Maybe noticing any differences in sensation. One side always, at least for me, one side always feels a bit more open. Just a couple more breaths here. Imagine sending the breath into that outer left hip. And sending in a bit of love. And then gently extending the right leg forward. And releasing. Go ahead and bring the soles of the feet together to touch. Just like we started practice, except this time we're going to come to lie all the way back. So a Supta Baddha Konasana. So coming to lie back with soles of the feet together. And if this feels like it's too much, you can bring your blocks underneath your thighs to help support them. If it feels like it's a bit too much on the hips, or if the knees don't love this, support the legs so that they do love it. You can bring the hands to rest by the sides of the body. Maybe they come to rest on the belly. Maybe you bring left hand over the heart, right hand over the belly. And gently allowing gravity to do its thing with the hips, finding a gentle opening here. Because we do tend to carry so much in the hips, when we practice hip opening, it's a perfect opportunity to tap in to what we can release or let go of. So if there's anything you've been carrying around that's not yours or that you no longer need, you can take a moment here to acknowledge whatever that is, to thank it for its time and for any lessons that it's brought you, and to kindly and gently let it go. And if you'd like to stay with the soles of the feet together for Shavasana, please feel free. If this position feels really nice and you'd like to stay here, please do. And otherwise, you can extend the legs long, feet about as wide as your mat, arms resting by the sides of the body with the palms turned up towards the sky. And go ahead and take a big breath in through the nose. Open the mouth and let it go. Take 2 more big breaths just like that. Inhaling deeply, filling up the belly. Exhale, release. 1 more big breath in. And exhale to let something go. Allow the breath to move naturally in and out of the body. And feeling your body get heavy, fully supported by the earth beneath you. And gently start to bring some movement into fingers and toes, wrists and ankles. Extend the arms long overhead, take a nice long stretch. And bring soles of your feet flat onto your mat and turn onto the side of your choice. And then using the top hand to help press you up, make your way into a comfortable seat. Sitting up nice and tall, rooting down through sitting bones, crown of the head reaching skyward. Bringing the palms to touch at heart center. And bowing the head gently towards the hands in a gesture of gratitude. And gratitude for this practice and for the breath and body that allow us to move through it. Thank you so much for allowing me to lead you in this practice today. Namaste. Thank you so much, yogis, for joining me here on the mat for this chill hip opening practice. If you've enjoyed this practice or any of the others, if you'd like to support the creation of more of these classes, or if you'd like to deepen or advance your yoga practice, please check out the Patreon page. That is linked in the description below. And I will meet you on the mat next time.